Hi everyone, Mr. G here once again. In this video, I am addressing exponents, and this is at a grade 8 level, meaning at a very basic level. If you feel you need to understand the concepts behind exponents, then there's a video to watch or the series to watch. The videos will not be that long. I'll try to stick between 5 and 10 minutes so that actually you don't get bored, so to say, for the lack of a better word. I'll try to be very active and keep you lively. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get to this. I have something here, x to the 4. At a grade 8 level, what you need to understand is what this whole thing inside the circle means. So this entire thing, we refer to it as a power, okay? This little thing here, that form, we refer to it as an exponent. Some will say it an index. And of course, in the olden days, it was also referred to as a power. And I will try by all means to use the word exponent and index so that we don't get confused. So this whole thing is a power. And the 4, notice that it's a small 4, it is referred to as an exponent or an index. And the x here, this big number, is known as a base. Okay, so if I write a number here, suppose I write a number and I say x squared. 2 we say squared, 3 we say cube, and then if it's 4 we then say index 4 or exponent 4, etc., etc. Then my base is x, then that's my index. Okay, well, that's my exponent, right? And you will see as we go into algebraic expressions and try and assess them, we will be starting to talk about the degree of an expression. So while at that, may I then also then indicate that actually this 2 also is known as the degree, of x. So if I were to ask you, what is the degree of x in this thing? Then the degree of x in this first thing here is 4. The degree of x here is 2. I will not dive much into that. We'll discuss it when we discuss, as I said, algebra expressions and equations. Now, I want us to clarify some things before we get any further into the laws of exponents, before we get to discover them. Now, if I have x to the 4 as I have in my original example, then this means x times x, the dot means a multiplication in mathematics, times x, okay? That's what it means. You can see I've multiplied x by itself how many times? 4 times. That's what I've done then, okay? Now, I want us to understand that things can get a little bit tricky, maybe confusing in mathematics. And that's not a reason to panic. You just need to give it a little thought. So let's clarify a few things. If I take this x to the 4 and I put a number there, let me put the number 2. Then what this means is that I am having 2 multiplied by x times x times x times x. What should be clear out of this is that 2 is not raised to the index 4 or exponent 4, only x. Hence, I write 2 only once. In fact, we assume here that the exponent for 2 is just 1. Actually, that's how it is. Y, if I just write y here, excuse me, I meant y. If I just write y, then that's just the exponent 1. If I write p, then that's just p to the exponent 1. That's one thing that you should know by default. For example, if I were to say 2 times 1, that's 2, okay? I don't need to write 2 as 2 times 1 because I know it's there that it is 2 times 1. Okay, that's one of the things in mathematics, and that's one of the things that I'd like you to understand and to have in the back of your mind as we go through this chapter. Here, I'm just introducing the notation and a few pointers that we must be aware of. So that's a very important thing. This x to the 4 here, what is the number there? Is 1, okay? I could have had a 1 there as well. But because one is so obvious, is boring and all that, we don't bother to write it. That's one thing about mathematicians. We create the symbols and shorthand forms because we are really lazy to write, okay? Which is a good thing because the laziness brings creativity. Now, let me take the same 2 times x to the exponent of 4. Um, I would like you to actually pay attention also to my a language, the way I say these things out, okay? So this is 2 times x to the exponent of 4. Now, this is 2 times x all to the exponent 4, okay? Meaning the whole thing is to the exponent 4. Now, here there's a difference. What this means is I'm going to have 2x times 2x times 2x times 2x. How many times? 4 times because of that. That's another important thing that we have to note about exponents. Now, this is also different from 2 to the exponent 4 times x. You realize this is the opposite of that. Here, I must multiply 2 4 times and only have x once. Whereas in the previous example, this one here, it was x that I multiplied 4 times. I'm putting this to show you the importance of paying attention to detail to how the expression is being given. Maybe another one that I should throw in is this one here, because it's one of the common things, common errors, I mean, that we see. I should not use a 2 there because I'm already using it. So let me put a 3 here. Suppose I have a 3, and then in there I have I want to use variables. So let's say xy, and I raise this to the exponent 2. Again, it's important to note that actually I must first sort out what is in the brackets. So you spoke in primary in grade 7, you learned about this thing called BODMAS. Okay. Now in this case, I'm going to change this BODMAS to what we call BEDMAS. Okay. BEDMAS. And the E here means exponents. Okay. Exponent. So meaning when we see an expression and there is a bracket, we're going to pay attention first to the exponent, okay? Look at brackets and exponents. So let's follow BEDMAS in this case. If I follow BEDMAS, I'm going to have a 3 times what? xy first, and what again? And xy. And that's it. That's how this thing should be written. The last thing that I need us to pay attention to is this. Suppose now I have x plus y squared, okay? A lot of puppies die because of this. We apply the laws of exponents again. Everything inside the bracket, okay, multiply itself. How many times? Twice. So what is in the bracket is x plus y. Please get this because you're going to be caught in grade 9, you're going to be caught in grade 10 if you forget this important rule or warning that I'm giving you. So I'm going to pause here. I've introduced exponents to you in terms of notation and what it means. The next video, we will look at the different laws of exponents, where they come from, and it will be a build-up on what we just discussed. Okay, thank you.